Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you are new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds. If you'd like to join the family, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, make sure you click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate on the discussion, you can join me most weekdays where I go live on YouTube around 4 p.m. Central Time, or outside of my YouTube, you can consider joining the Discord I created. There's a link for that down in the description below. Today is day 961. Is that right? 961 of my challenge to lose 300 pounds. So far, through a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet, I have been able to lose over 255 pounds so far. If anybody has any non-scale victories, I love hearing your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I love hearing those as well. If you are succeeding with your diet, let us know what you are doing to succeed. If you are struggling with your diet, let us know what's causing your struggles. Maybe there's something we can help you with. And at the end of the day, what are some things that you are doing or that you can do that will make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Let's go ahead, switch over to the main. I got a piece of food or something in my teeth and it's bugging me. Hopefully it works its way out. A few people checking in here. Oh shoot, I'm hitting my mic. A few people checking in here. Jay saying hello, Plants Only Muncher. Rebecca, Tyler, hello. I hope you guys all had a great weekend. Janet checking in saying hello, Janet. I hope you had a great weekend as well. It was a busy weekend. And it was lots of great family time this weekend, and with the Father's Day and everything, it was really awesome. Matthew here says happy belated Father's Day. Thanks. Your kids are jackpot lucky. Well, thanks. Sometimes they don't feel that way, I bet. They will know the value of proper nutrition. That is the greatest gift of all, as well as your longevity. Well, thank you so much, Matt. I really appreciate those kind words. And I do hope that they grow up to appreciate what we are teaching them and giving them a good foundation in nutrition as they, sorry. It's really bugging me. Anyways, yes, it's great that we are teaching them these things. I don't know how much they're paying attention. When I was their age, I don't know that I would have paid that much attention to what my parents were giving me, but I suppose we do deny them a lot of the things they want. So let's see, a couple other people checking in here. Stephanie Simpson, hello. Hope everything's going great for you today. So yes, busy weekend. I got playing around with my camera and my phone, and I was able to do a live stream from my house yesterday, and I think that it went pretty good. One of the big reasons why I don't do a live stream from my house is because we have very slow internet at our house. We have just it's like a high-speed dial-up internet, or it's internet over the phone line. We live in a not that remote of where we live. Like, everybody around me has Mediacom, or has like high-speed internet. I don't think there's fiber out by me, but they definitely have access to higher speed internet than I do. Unfortunately, my house sits so far back from the road that the cable company won't run the line from the road to my house, or at least when I asked them. When we first moved into the house, we looked at getting a higher speed internet, and they told us no. And so that's why we ended up going with the it's like a dial, it's like a high-speed dial-up. It's not like as slow as the old internet. Our kids are still able to stream videos, and I was able to still stream my live stream, which I did not think I would be able to do. But it seemed to be uploading it fine. The quality seemed good. The picture looked good, and nobody really had any complaints. So that might be something I try doing more of in the future. Maybe have live streams with me and Carrie, or me and the kids or something, who knows. But I just got playing with things, and the camera had the option on it to like do live stream from the camera, and it took a little bit of technical working things out to finally get the live stream to go, but I was able to set something up. And if I set it up ahead of time, I think I'll be able to do it even easier. I was doing everything from my phone, and that was probably causing some difficulties. I wasn't able to change the thumbnail before the video and some other things. So, but yeah, it was great. And Janet here says that she saw my live stream yesterday and it was great. That's awesome. Jay, you avoided the rain. Yes, yesterday we were getting rained on. Jay said that they were expecting rain today in Pittsburgh, but it sounds like it made a left or a right and missed them, or maybe it died out before it got to them. Hey, pretty girl's mom checking in. Hello. Happy Monday, everyone. Hello. And Cindy's checking in as well. Hello, everybody. A bunch of people in here today. Make sure you're hitting that like button, getting this video out to people. Maybe there's somebody out there that needs to hear something that we're talking about. So hit that like button on the video and get this out there to the people. I guess I can go over food a little bit since Friday. I'm pretty sure I talked about food quite a bit yesterday in my live stream, but I didn't have any way of showing any photos. So I'm going to try to go through and check out some of the different photos I have from the weekend here. Plants Only Muncher said, the video worked well yesterday. You and Carrie can now do cooking shows. Oh my. Yeah, that, we could do some things like that, or we could try to set something up to do something, but it would definitely be more Carrie doing the cooking than me doing the cooking, because I don't get too fancy when I mess with the cooking here. So, but yeah, we can do, it gives us options of things to do. And the streams, if we do the streams, they'll end up probably being pretty late at night if we do them. It won't be kind of at this 4 or 5 p.m. time that I've been doing these daily updates. It would have to be after the kids are settled down or in bed. But maybe it's something that we can try doing and see if people like it and see what we think of it. But Carrie's not near as excited about being on camera as I am. So she doesn't, she didn't sign up to be on camera with this whole thing. She just signed up to make sure I get healthy or I lose some weight, I guess. But we'll go ahead and go over food. I have some photos here. Janet here says she's fasting today. Stephen had a dental surgery and had to fast, so we decided to go ahead and see if it might help with his recovery. That's awesome. Hopefully it does. Eating this way, I really feel like I've healed better from the surgeries that I had. I had my distal bicep tendons worked on, and I don't think I could have recovered any faster. And I really attribute a lot of that recovery to the nutrition that I was putting in my body. My body was able to focus on the healing and not spend its time trying to process or trying to digest the processed junk food that I had been eating. So hopefully everything goes well, and hopefully Stephen recovers from his dental surgery quickly. And I'm sure fasting will help in some way. Let's go ahead, pop up. Like I said, I talked about food a lot here, but since Friday's live stream, I actually didn't eat my oatmeal on Friday until I got home. So this is actually oatmeal from Friday night that I had for dinner essentially on Friday night. And then on Saturday, we went to a what was called a plant luck. It's like a potluck. It was it's the Plant Pure Nation pod, our local pod here. I lost all my notes. Okay. The Plant Pure Nation pod meetup that they do kind of once a month. And this was the mango salsa that Carrie had brought. So there's brown rice, black beans, and then a mango salsa. And I had some of that while we were at the Plant Luck. I took a photo of one of the kids' burgers. I didn't have it because they didn't have the ingredients on this, but this was either the beet burger or they had one other type of burger that I'm not sure everything that was in it, but just kind of the kids really enjoyed these. And I said it in the stream yesterday, I don't know if they enjoyed the burgers as much as they probably enjoyed the Dave's Killer Bread that the burgers were on, and the ketchup and the mustard and the pickles and everything that they put on them. But it was great for our kids to go to a potluck where there's a huge variety of food and they can eat anything that's on the table and don't have to ask us, is this okay? Is this okay? Does this have meat in it? Does this have dairy in it? When we're at that potluck, we can just say, yeah, whatever you want to try, go for it. And if there's anything you like, go ahead and grab more, And so the kids really enjoyed the burgers. They also really enjoyed there was a strawberry dessert that they had. I'm not sure what it was made of. Carrie took all the photos of the recipes, and maybe I'll see if she can share them on the Discord, and you guys can see some of the different recipes there. Let's see. Janet here says the mango salsa looks really good. Yeah, it was awesome. And it was so vibrant and pretty looking, and really a bunch of the stuff that they had there had that beautiful look to it. It seems like whenever I go to potlucks or go to things, everything seems very brown when you go to like a standard kind of reunion or potluck or whatever you're going to. It tends to revolve around brown. So it's really great to see these bright reds and these bright yellow colors in the food. So that was awesome. Let's see. Stephanie says that in your area, you're having a heck of a time finding oil-free Dave Killer products. And I don't know if the bread they had was an oil-free product or not. It was their hamburger buns. I don't eat Dave's Killer bread, or I haven't had it at all, like ever in my life. So I always thought it was in loaves. So when they had the hamburger buns, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And our kids really liked them. Let's see. A few people talking there. Let's see. Jay here says that he has heard that Dave's bread has been really commercialized. It's really tough to avoid that commercialization that happens in the world. It's unfortunate, but it kind of happens to every business as they get bigger. And what they end up running into is that they get to the point where they are beholden to their investors. They're beholden to the shareholders of companies. and the customers end up having to play, second chair to the chairman to the shareholders as far as what the companies make their decisions on. If I am the CEO of Dave's Killer Bread, and my product engineer and my marketing team comes to me and says, hey, we haven't been putting oil in our product and we're doing really well and we're selling great and the company's growing, but we've done some research and we found that if we put X grams of this product in our bread, that it will increase our sales by 2%. It'll increase our sales by even 1%. If as the CEO, I say that, no, I don't want to add the oil. I want to keep the product the way it was, and we'll take that hit as far as the profit or as far as making money. If the shareholders find out that the operating team makes that decision, they're going to vote that operating team out. They're going to, because they don't care about the customer. They gave the company $1 million so that they could make money. And if they only make $100,000 off that investment when they could have made $200,000 off the investment, they're going to get upset. And so these companies have to fight that battle, and they have to deal with competitors coming in and looking at their product, especially when it's products that are very close to whole food plant-based. When I look at products like Well Your World makes. Well Your World makes some great products, and there's some proprietariness to their products. But if they're not going to use chemicals and special processes to make their products, then anybody can copy that. You can look at their ingredients list and say, okay, it's got these 10 ingredients in it. Now let me figure out what combination of those 10 ingredients you need. And it's easy to copy when they don't have anything proprietary. And so these companies also have to fight against that, the competition coming in, and the competition saying, well, Dave's Killer Bread isn't putting oil in their product. We'll just mimic their product, put a little bit of oil in it, and we'll steal their customers. And so it's really tough when these companies get bigger. So, and Jay here says that they have a longer shelf life with oil. That's another big thing with these companies and these chemicals. That's was it the Future of Nutrition book from Colin Campbell, or it was that, or Salt, Oil, Sugar? What is it? Sugar, salt, oil. What is it? Salt, sugar, oil. It's the Michael Moss book. So it was either Colin Campbell's or Michael Moss's book, where they talk about the history of instant pudding, and that Jell-O was against using any chemicals to make pudding faster. They wanted it to go faster because it took half a day to make pudding, but they resisted the urge or the desire to put chemicals in there. It was a line that they were not going to cross. That the owners of the company told the engineers, figure it out, but you can't use chemicals. And they tried for years and years. And then a competitor came in and applied for a patent that said that they could make pudding in 20 minutes. And once Jell-O saw that patent, they went to their engineers and said, hey, we changed our minds. You can go ahead and use chemicals. And before the company that had submitted the patent was able to put product on the shelves, Jell-O developed a 15-minute pudding and got it on the shelves. And so that was a line they crossed so that they could get the customer base, so that the product was more marketable. And they do that with, instant pudding. They're using chemicals to create combustion within the particles that cause it to turn to Jell-O faster than it did naturally. And they do the same thing with preservatives so that the products stay on the shelves longer than they would naturally. Let's see. Stephanie says that, yeah, you think they changed the recipe when the commercialization started with Dave's Killer Bread. Let's see here. missed a comment by Matt here said, he says he's at a memorial service, several friends you hadn't seen in 6 years didn't even recognize you. I shook their hand and said, hi, I used to be Matt, and they were dumbfounded. It was the best feeling in the world. That is awesome, Matt. I did have kind of a similar situation, and I may be expecting having that a little bit this summer here too, because I shaved my beard. There was a guy that I had done some work with for a few years around 2019 through 2021. We saw each other semi-regularly, and then it was a couple years here, since I started my challenge, that I had really seen him. And I came up to his shop a couple months ago, and he didn't recognize me at all. Like, I had to completely reintroduce myself, and he was blown away. That's just a great feeling, isn't it? It is. It's the best feeling in the world, like you said. It really boosts your confidence in how you feel about yourself too. Let's see. Let's see. And that said here, when you saw it at the grocery store, you thought, what's so great about them? I imagine you're talking about the bread. Let's see. Oh, I just had a comment. Where'd it go? Let's see. Stephanie says, yes, it is promoted well for vegan, but not ingredient friendly for us anymore. Yes. And that's unfortunate. But companies do that. And even, I don't buy a lot of their products, but I know I've seen different vegan channels talking about, there's been ice cream companies that were non-dairy ice cream companies that started to add dairy back into their product, or there's other examples out there of companies that had that plant-based or had that vegan stance, but then the commercialization came in and they started to change their tune a little bit. Let's see. Gene here says that you tried our method of making golden potatoes in the Instapot. Yum, a whole new level of creamy good. Thanks for sharing. That's awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed them, that you liked the golden potatoes in the Instapot. I got a whole bunch of them I haven't even eaten for lunch yet that are in the Instapot. I didn't eat my breakfast until really late today. So, yes, that's awesome that you enjoyed them. Carrie here saying, yes, we love them. We have recently gotten my dad hooked on them too. They're like a little mashed potato bomb. Yep. And it's funny how how much variation there can be in those potatoes. One bag of potatoes is completely different than the next bag, or even within the same bag, there's some variation, but it's awesome. Jay here says that he just sticks with Ezekiel. It's delicious, toasted. You've been eating it for 30 years. Yes, the Ezekiel bread is something that I really enjoyed. Stephanie says that they used to use the Ezekiel up until the price went up. And so I haven't been buying it for months now. So I don't know how long ago the price went up with it. But Jay's saying to call Ezekiel and they'll send you some coupons every few months. That's awesome. That's a great way to save a few bucks. Just call the manufacturer. Let's see. But yeah, hit them up. And let's see. Jay says that Trader Joe has it for $4.99. It's only up 50 cents for the Ezekiel bread. Yeah, you have to check those out. Carrie says that I need to bring those potatoes home. She thought our oldest might eat them, but there was no table tasty at the office today. So our kid that was at the shop today didn't eat them, and I didn't eat them either, partly because there was no table tasty. And like I said, I didn't eat breakfast till super late, and I didn't, now that I caught up, I suppose I can go over food here real quick, or the rest of food for the weekend here. So, all right. So that was that. And then on Saturday afternoon, I had some leftovers of our red lentil chili, not the prettiest photos. And then yesterday for breakfast, I had oatmeal and broccoli for breakfast yesterday. Here's a couple face shots of me. Hi. I don't know why I took that photo. I was outside for some reason. And then yesterday was Father's Day. So I started my day off, regular oatmeals, broccoli. Then we had a get together with my family that was just kind of a meetup. It wasn't lunch or dinner. It was kind of in between the two. And we just all kind of brought some snacks to eat. And we had a big bowl of fruit there. And so this is some of the fruit that I ate. I did eat more than this, but this is just the one bowl. There's some pineapple in there, some strawberry in there, blackberries, and then the raspberries. Those raspberries were huge. Like, I don't think that the picture does them justice, how big the raspberries were, but they were huge and they were delicious. So that is the kind of snack that I had while we were at the luncheon thing. And then this was actually my my actual lunch that I had: potatoes and broccoli, surprise, surprise. And then for dinner last night, we had one of our favorite meals, or one of my favorite meals. This was the polenta with mushrooms, without the white beans last night, because I used all the right white beans when I made this kind of same meal last week. I made the same meal with potatoes and I used all our white beans. So we didn't have any white beans with it last night, but it tasted awesome last night. I don't know if Carrie just put an extra scoop of nutritional yeast in it or what. But even without the white beans, it is an awesome recipe, and I ate a ton of it last night. So that's how beautiful it looks before I end up eating it. And then today, I didn't even eat breakfast till 12:30 today. So this was my oatmeal and my broccoli with the last bit of table tasty that we had in our office. Let's see. Stephanie here is asking, what was the lunch yesterday with broccoli? Yeah, that is potatoes and broccoli there. It's not a very pretty photo, but I like to just mash it all up and eat like a big pile of broccoli and potatoes. So I think that's what you were asking about. That was yesterday, which is broccoli and potatoes and a little bit of table tasty like normal. And I think that's all my food photos. So pretty standard diet this weekend. The only things, having kind of that bowl of fruit yesterday, and then we went to that potluck and I just kind of ate what we brought to the potluck. And so I had the rice and beans and mango. So that was food for the weekend here. And let's see. Jay says that's a good brunch at 12:30. You would skip the polenta. Yep, it does have it's a little bit more digestible, I imagine, than rice and potatoes is, being that it's a little bit more processed than those foods are. So today's topic: extreme weight loss in 950 days. Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to lose an extreme amount of weight? Well, follow along and listen, because this is how you get extreme weight loss. I think it's so funny. All of the extreme or impressive or incredible, or all these words that we talk about with weight loss, and it's all the clickbaity stuff that we see on the internet, seeing, how I lost 70 pounds in 2 months, how I lost 100 pounds in 3 months, how and it makes me laugh because it's a big reason why I started this channel, is that you see these videos, you see these extremes, incredibles, amazings, but it's just a snapshot in time of that moment where that person had that extreme weight loss, where they had that incredible transformation, where they had all these, things that people want to see. But the weight loss doesn't mean anything. The transformations don't mean anything if they aren't sustained. It's keeping the weight off that matters. It's not just losing the weight, it's keeping it off. I look back and I went through my videos and kind of did a little bit of research here. And I looked at 2 years ago from today. It was about day 230. And I was 337 pounds at day 230. And that's from a starting weight of 519.8. So in the first 230 days, I lost nearly 183 pounds. And that was in less than 8 months. That was like between the 7th and 8th month mark that I had lost almost 200 pounds at that point. And that's incredible. It's impressive. It's extreme 182 pounds lost in 7 months. But it wouldn't have meant anything if today I was 520 pounds again, or if I was 360 pounds or 450 pounds. If I hadn't continued to lose the weight, if I hadn't kept the weight off, it wouldn't have meant anything. It wouldn't have made a difference. Where the impressive part is the fact that 2 years ago, I had lost 183 pounds. And since then, I've lost another 75 pounds. Like, that is the impressive part, is that I lost the 185 pounds and I kept it off. I never gained it back. It wasn't something where I'm not even like struggling to not be 337 pounds like I was that day. Like, it's easy for me to not be 337 pounds now. It's easy for me to stay on my diet because I've learned how to eat. I've learned what I need to do to nourish my body, to satisfy my need and my want for a large volume of food, but also to lose weight, also to work towards getting to a healthy weight. And that's where the extreme weight loss doesn't matter if it isn't sustained. It's you see these videos and I watch them and I wonder how I'm trying to think of, like, they're barely hanging on. I wonder how close they are to their breaking point when they're showing these videos. I'm 262.8 pounds. I'm not stressed about my food. I'm not stressed about my weight loss. I'm not stressed about my health. And I don't know that some of these examples that you see on the internet can say the same thing. They can sit there and say, I've lost 200 pounds. I've lost 150 pounds. But how long ago did they lose that 150 pounds? Is it easy for them to continue to keep that 150 pounds off? Or are they having to work harder? It's something that I have found with this diet that has been different than any other diet that I've done in the past, is that it isn't, what was I going? It isn't difficult to stick to it. It isn't difficult, or it was, as time went on, with every diet I ever did, the difficulty to stay compliant got harder as time went on. It was easy to stay compliant on day one. It was easy to stay compliant for the first week, for the first 2 weeks. After the first month, it got a little bit tougher. After the first 2 to 3 months, it got a lot tougher. And you get to a point where you get 4 months into a diet and you've lost that initial weight and you've gotten yourself away from those health consequences that you were worried about. And then you realize that you're working so hard to stay on this diet and your mind keeps doing that cost benefit analysis. It's always going to do that cost benefit analysis with every decision, everything that's put in front of us. Our brains analyze it. Is it worth it to eat it versus what it's going to cost us? Is it worth it to go do that thing versus the effort it's going to cost us to do that thing? We're constantly going off of this cost benefit analysis. And when your diet gets tougher and tougher and tougher, that cost benefit starts to get more skewed, and that benefit starts to diminish because you're dealing with the stress of undereating. You're dealing with the stress of being starved, and you are not able to focus on the rest of your life. Yeah, and so then when the rest of your life won't bend to your diet anymore, because that happens to a lot of us, is we can push our life away for a day, we can push our life away for a week to stay on a diet, or maybe even a couple months to stay on a diet. But life shows up. You can only keep that from happening for a short period of time. And you create this bubble for your new diet, and you have to start letting things into that bubble. And if it's tough to stay on your diet, and then you have to deal with stress from work, stress from life, on top of stress from your diet, then the easiest thing for you to fix is the stress from your diet, because you can just go to the fast food restaurant and you can solve that stress much easier than you can solve the stress of a bad job or a death in the family. Like those things are going to happen. You can't avoid that. I talked about it a little bit on stream yesterday, but this past week, our oldest dog passed away, and that would have been very easy for me to just say, you know what, I don't care about the food today. I'm just going to go get whatever, because I was dealing with the stress of losing this family member. If my food was stressing me out, that would have been what I would have done. I guarantee you, if what happened last week happened during any other diet I've ever done in my life, I would have had a pizza on the table that night. Like I would have had fast food. I would have had junk food. I would have eaten something off plan, because I wouldn't have been able to handle the stress of losing him as well as the stress of my diet. But because I'm not stressed by my diet, I was able to focus on that and deal with the stress of that, and not try to hide that stress or hide that moment with food. And by trying to use the dopamine that food gives you to overshadow or to mask the pain of the event. And so, yeah, it's just kind of, you have to realize that these get thin, quick schemes are just schemes. It's a process that takes time. And it doesn't matter how quickly I lost the weight or how much weight I lost. if I don't keep it off. If I go this whole 3 years or however long it takes me to get to the 219.8 pounds, and 5 years from now, I'm 300 pounds again, 400 pounds, 500 pounds. Everything I've done for the last 3 years means jack, it means nothing. It means that I was able to lose the weight, but I've been able to lose the weight a lot of different ways. Not to this point, not where I'm at now, and not where I plan to get, but I've lost weight in the past. There's a video on the internet of me from 2014. I've shared it on here before, but I went on television talking about how this doctor's program was incredible. It helped me lose 115 pounds. I knew what to do, and I got on TV and I bragged about, just fixing your food, eating less food. You got to learn how to eat better. The whole time I was taking phentermine. That's why I lost all the weight, because I was on drugs, but I didn't talk about that on the interview. That's the other thing, these extreme, I lost 70 pounds in 3 months. They say, oh, I was eating a low carb diet or a low calorie diet, but maybe they're not mentioning that they were taking phentermine or they were taking some other of the, like the semi-glutides that they're doing now. And so there's it's tough to know what is the truth with those videos, like even me, if this was the only video I had and I said, hey guys, I lost 255 pounds in 950 days and I did it by eating only plants and no added salt, oil, and sugar. It doesn't give a true picture of what happened over the previous 960 days. It only gives you what I'm thinking about or willing to talk about at this point. It doesn't, I've lost 255 pounds. It doesn't talk about how I lost 300 and, or I'm sorry, what was it? I lost 183 of it in the first 230 days. And then the following year, I lost 32 pounds. And then this past year, I've lost 42 pounds, like if I don't talk about it in this video, if I wouldn't have said that, nobody would have known that's the breakdown of how I lost my weight. They would have thought, well, maybe he just lost a couple pounds each week until now. And so these videos are very deceptive, and they might not intentionally be deceptive. They might think that they are sharing something that they want the world to hear. And for them in that moment, it might be the truest thing. The things that they're saying might be the truest things that they know. Just like in 2014, when I got on television and I talked about how that weight loss program was incredible. I was talking from it was my truth. It was true to me. So I believed it. But fast forward a year, if they would have had me on that show, there wouldn't have been anything impressive to talk about because I gained all the weight back. And so that's what, it's cool to be excited about quick and fast weight loss. And it's great to not want to be that obese person that you are. I'm so happy I'm no longer that 520 pound person I used to be. But I know that with a few of the wrong decisions, I could be that 520 pound person again. And my goal is to find a way to make sure that I don't make those poor decisions and I don't have those issues. Let's see. Few people checking in here. Jay says, hoping to see 259 on the scale Wednesday. I would love to see 259 on the scale Wednesday. That would be what, 3 pound weight loss. That'd be quite a bit. So we'll see, especially with the busy weekend we had this weekend. And that says, sorry to hear about your dog. Yeah. Yeah. Stephanie says, sorry, but yes. Carrie says here that yes, he lived a very long life. He was 16 years old. and we will miss him, but he was suffering a lot, and we are very happy that he is not suffering anymore. Real bad arthritis, cancer, kind of kidney issues a couple years ago. We're very blessed that we got the last 2 years that we did with our dog. And so, yes. And Stephanie here says, this lifestyle that you and the family are doing is now second nature. Yes, you got to do it 1,000 times. You got to do it till it gets in the back of your brainstem. If you want to make a habit, you got to do it 1,000 times. You have to do it over and over again until you get sick of doing it over and over again, and then do it over and over again. You can't do something the rest of your life if you don't keep doing it right now. And yes, that was a challenge myself to stick to a program, focus on my health for 3 years. 3 years is 1,095 days. Figured that if I gave myself 1,095 days, figure it out, I would. And I feel like I'm figuring it out. I haven't hit 1,000 days yet. I'm getting close, but eventually I'll get there. And I do feel like this is so much easier now. It's also like that life getting in the way. When I lost that first 180 pounds, first 200 pounds, I was able to kind of keep life at bay. For the first 7 months, I was able to say, hey, I'm focusing on my health. I was 520 pounds. I need to focus on my health. And everybody around me said, yes, focus on your health. If you need the time, if you need whatever, we'll give it to you. Get your health under control. Well, after 7-8 months, I'm down to 337 pounds. I don't get to use that excuse anymore. I can't keep saying I was 520 pounds. I need time for my diet. I had to start doing things. I had to start saying, yes, I'll go hang out with you guys at that restaurant. Yes, I'll go to that wedding that is going to have food I can't eat. I'm going to go to that picnic or whatever that has things that aren't on my diet. And that's where the learning happened. After the 7 months, after the easy part is where the true learning happened, where I've learned that if we're going to leave town, we need to bring extra food with us. When we get to the town we're going to, or wherever we're going, if we need to eat, we need to go to a grocery store to buy food, not to a fast food restaurant. We go to the grocery store, we'll get food. Try to find hotels that have microwaves or have options for cooking the food that you're going to bring into the hotel. Going to the Father's Day get together we had yesterday and making sure that we brought food that's compliant for us. Make sure we eat before or have food in our future where I can say, you know what, I might not be able to eat much here, but I have a whole bag of potatoes at home waiting for me. So I don't need to eat anything here because those potatoes want me to eat them. And so, Carrie says, yeah, we have a travel Instapot. We take an Instapot with us when we go places. All we need to do is have a plug-in and we can cook food. We can warm up food. We can do things. Jay here says that weight loss gets draggingly slow close to your goal. Absolutely. If your goal is going to be to get to a healthy weight, it's going to get slow as you get to that healthier weight. And you're going to have to deal with the fact that you're not going to lose 180 pounds in the first 7 months, every 7 months, just because I lost. It would be great. And I was doing that math at the time. I was like, oh my God, I'm nearly 200 pounds down. If I keep it at this rate, I'll be at my goal weight within 15 months, like that. Yeah, would have been faster than that. If I'd have kept losing the weight at the rate I did for the first 7 months, I'd have been at my goal weight in less than a year and a half. But the weight loss slows down. The difference between what I used to eat and what I eat now is isn't as affected by my body weight as it used to be. When I was 500 pounds, that difference between how I ate and what I eat now meant that my body was burning a lot of extra energy to live day to day. And now that I've been doing this for 950 plus days, my body's getting more used to the stuff I have here. Annette says they're off to yoga. See you next time. Awesome, Annette. Thanks for checking out today's video. Yeah, you know, I want people to click on this video because extreme weight loss, 950 days, 250 pounds lost. I want people to come here to see that it's doable, that you can do it. But I want them to understand that it didn't happen in the first 100 days. It's taken 950 days to lose all of this weight. And it's going to take another 950 days plus 950 days plus 950 days for me to keep doing this forever. Like, it's not a fad. It's not a diet that I'm eating just to lose weight. This is the diet that I'm eating the rest of my life. And I can say that with so much more certainty than I've ever been able to say that with any diet I've done my whole life. In fact, that video, I'll have to show it sometime. I'm almost positive that I'm talking the video I did when I was in 2014, when I lost 100 pounds. I thought I had it figured out. I did. And I said I had it figured out on that video. I'm pretty sure I said something to that effect, that this is the way I'm going to eat forever. And this is what you have to do to be a healthy weight. And it was all BS. It was unsustainable. You know, the diet that guy, me, but that version of me was eating was not a diet that was sustainable. It was never going to be sustainable. I was eating like anorexic kid. And you can only do that for so long before things really start to get in the way. Jay here says that you take your air fryer when traveling by car. Yep, Carrie says that's smart. Ours is way too big. Yes, we have a big Breville, like 9-in-1 air fryer, dehydrator oven, convection oven, toaster oven, you know, all the different did I say dehydrator? I think I might have. Jay says you have a smaller one. You can put 3 to 4 medium or 2 large potatoes in it. Yeah, that's probably a great size for traveling solo. Making sure that you have your potatoes. Yes, if you want to lose weight and keep it off, you got to eat large volumes of food. You just got to change the food that you are eating. So many people just try to eat less so they can weigh less, and that works for a short period of time. But that shouldn't be what anybody's concerning themselves with. Nobody should be worried about short-term weight loss. If you want to do short-term weight loss, there are thousands and thousands, if not millions of examples of people who have succeeded with a short-term weight loss. I need to lose weight for a wedding coming up. I need to lose weight for vacation. I need to lose weight for something. Or you set a goal that's, you know, only to lose, you know, half the weight you need to lose or 10% of the weight you need to lose. But you have to, you just have to get it going. Jay says, do you think when you eat less, your stomach shrinks? Yeah, I'm sure that it does. You know, right when I finished my water fast, I was eating less food than I definitely eat now, you know. It's, you know, I don't know enough about digestion to, you know, it's weird. I feel like I know more about digestion now than I knew before, but there's still a lot about it I don't know. And I think that so much of this comes down to the absorbability of the food that you're eating. I think that it's the food, again, I don't know a lot, but your body, from what I understand, takes the nutrients from the food while it's in your intestines and not while it's in your stomach. So your stomach might control the amount of food that you put into your intestines, but it's your gut microbiome and how your intestines work that is going to determine how much of those nutrients that you absorb in your body. And it doesn't matter, like eating less will affect what your body has access to absorb, but I feel like my body's always absorbing food. I don't feel like there's ever a point where my body has nothing in the digestive system until I fast for 3 to 5 days. And then my body cleans out the digestive system and there's not really much left for it to get nutrients from in my intestines. So like making my stomach smaller could help as long as you don't change the food that you're eating. It can get tough, that you shrink your stomach. I guess what's more important, having a smaller stomach or the calorie density of the food that you put in that stomach space? And I think that the calorie density and the absorbability, and that by absorbability, I mean eating highly unprocessed foods instead of highly processed foods. Eat foods that haven't been stripped of their fiber, stripped of their structure, and reduce the absorbability. That's why I like eating brown rice over white rice, is that the body is going to absorb fewer nutrients from the brown rice that I eat than the white rice, or at least fewer calories. Maybe there's more nutrients in brown rice than white rice, I don't know, but at least the calories that it's going to absorb from it are going to be less. That's why I like eating the steel cut and the oat groats instead of the rolled oats, because my body has to work harder to get calories from steel cut oats and oat groats than it would from rolled oats or from oat flour. Like the more you process it, the better absorbability it's going to have. So for me, I think the calorie density is going to be what, for me, I feel like that's what's helped continue the weight loss for this time. Like I haven't had to eat really any less food, and I'm still losing weight at what I feel is a good rate. I mean, the last 2 years, it has been less than a pound a week, but it's still been down. And that second year, of this, I really fought myself on the diet. I really fought with sticking to it. And, and it shows in the numbers, in that from right now to a year ago, I've lost 42 pounds. From a year ago to 2 years ago, I only lost 32 pounds. So I still lost 32 pounds, but I lost 10 less pounds in that year. And that a lot of that had to do with the removing of the processed foods. It was my inexperience with the diet, and just trying to, just the learning curve that I needed to go through, that that I had to get rid of that. And it's neat. It's nice to see in numerical kind of data that what I've been doing for kind of this past year has made a difference versus what I was doing the year before. And hopefully I can keep pushing that weight down till I get to the 219. I'd love to get down even less than that. It's just the idea. It's so foreign to me. Even being 220 seems so foreign to me, that the idea of being 200 seems impossible. But we'll see as I get closer how it goes. And as long as I keep eating a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet, my weight will go down, and it will, at the very least, it'll stay even. I'm not going, if I continue to eat a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet, I will not be 300 pounds again. I won't be 270 again. Like it's when I'm not compliant that I have issues, and I'm done with being not compliant. It's just easier for me to abstain, easier for me, this past weekend. And it has nothing to do with the plant pure thing that we went to. But the last one we went to, I tried a bunch of the different foods, and some of those foods had salt in them. And I don't know if that was what caused me to stall for 3 weeks, but I stalled for 3 weeks after that. And so, this weekend we had another meetup with them, and I just ate the food that I knew was compliant. And it was easier for me to abstain than it was for me to try to figure out, okay, this recipe has these 12 ingredients in it. Oh, one of those recipes is salsa. Well, what was the salsa made out of? Oh, the salsa has salt in it, or the what was it? The potato salad. I didn't even think about it. It had pickles in it. Like it seemed like it wouldn't matter, but it might have. And so this past time when we went, I just stayed on plan, and I had a great time. I met some awesome people. I got to share my experience with this diet, and hopefully help some people that were worried about, whether or not they'd like it or not, or who knows. There was new people there. There's people there that have been there for a long time. So, but I'm just so happy that I've been able to lose the weight and keep it off. And that is what it should be, keep it off. Like that, maybe that's the motto I use after I get to my goal weight, is keeping it off. Because this doesn't mean anything if I gain the weight back. All the effort I put in to doing these live streams, talking to you people, to showing, my story with my weight loss. If I don't sustain the weight loss, then, what was the outcome? I mean, obviously not being 520 pounds, even if it's only for a couple years, it's better than spending that time. And if I wouldn't have started losing the weight, I'd be gaining it, and I'd probably have hit 550 or 600 pounds at this point with the way things were going. And so, I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm happy with what I see for my future. I don't get stressed by my food, and that is something that's pretty awesome, to not be stressed by my food, to not, if I'm hungry, I'll eat, and I don't eat things that I suppose I would love to eat, like the Ezekiel bread and the nut butters, or the avocado, or the cherry juices, or the Lara bars, like all of those things are things that I would love to eat, but I'm not stressed by the fact that I'm not eating them, because I'm going to eat a big pile of potatoes here in an hour, and I'm going to eat, or, I'm going to have a big dinner. I'm going to have big breakfast. I'm not starving. And I don't know that anybody, I don't know how many people that are in the middle of a 300-pound weight loss challenge or journey or whatever they're doing, that are sitting there saying that they're not stressed by the lack of food that they have. Like it's something that you have to you have to figure it out, like it's so many times, how many diets did I starve myself that I, didn't eat breakfast, didn't eat lunch, and then had like a bagel for dinner, just like, or that was all I had. In fact, yeah, when I was in college, I lost weight. I would go to the cafeteria and I would get a bagel. I put butter on it, and that would be all I ate until dinner. And then I would eat just a small serving of dinner. And I lost a ton of weight doing that, but I was only able to sustain it for a few months. And then you fail, like, and that's the worst part of all those diets is the failing and the dealing with the failure and the that happened. I talked about it a few times today's stream when I lost the weight in 2014, and then I couldn't take the drugs anymore. I had to get off the phentermine, and I started just eating like I was before. And we were going to fast food restaurants. We were going to Brazilian steak houses. We were going, wherever we wanted to, eating as much as I wanted because I was no longer 400 pounds. I was under 300 at the time. And so, but while it was happening, I knew I was failing. I knew I was screwing it up. I knew that, me and Carrie took a trip to Vegas shortly after I lost weight that time. And we hit every buffet and fancy restaurant that you could possibly hit in whatever 4 days or 5 days that we were down there. And it was just slow things. It was just little things. It wasn't a big deal. Oh, we're on vacation. It's okay, But then when we got back from vacation, there was no getting back on the diet. It was fast food restaurants, going out to eat, just highly processed junk food. And the weight came back on. And, very quickly I got back up to 400 pounds. I have no idea how quickly I got back up because I quit getting on the scale. I had failed and I didn't want to see that failure in numeric form. So I wouldn't get on the scale. And from 2014 until 2020, I was defeated. I had lost, like it was, healthfulness was within my grasp, like I was under 300 pounds, so close to being healthy, and I just let it slip away. And I beat myself up over it mentally for years and got to a point where I was done. I wasn't going to win. So why even try? And that's how I spent 6 years of my life. And in that 6 years, I went from 290 pounds to 520 pounds because that diet failed. And it was never going to succeed. There's nobody that, I can't say nobody, but I would love to see the examples of these people that take appetite suppressants, lose weight, and then keep it off without continuing to take appetite suppressants. And we have to realize that long-term isn't a year. Long-term isn't even a couple years. Long-term is the rest of your life. Like if you're going to lose the weight and you want to say you've lost it long-term, then that means it never comes back. You keep it off for forever. So many times, like I see also a lot of people talking like I did. I thought I succeeded back in 2014, and I was on that diet for 9 months, and that was long term to me. 9 months was long term for me to be on any restrictive eating or any type of diet. And now I realize that long term is not measured in months. Long term is not measured in years. It's measured in decades when it comes to diet. It's the decades of eating right that you need to put together. And I spent decades eating wrong. And so I got to spend the next 4 decades trying to make up for that, I suppose. But I am going to get out of here today. I really appreciate everybody checking in on the live stream and participating in the conversation today. I have been enjoying this diet. I've been enjoying the weight loss. I'm excited. Hop on the scale this week. I'm hoping to see a little bit of a loss. We'll see how it goes the next few days. And yeah, I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about getting to eat this way tonight and tomorrow and next week and a month from now and a year from now. You know, I don't dread my diet, and that has never happened. You know, I dreaded my diet when I was eating poorly. You know, I dreaded that I couldn't help myself, that I knew that it was killing me. And then I would switch to these restrictive diets that were also not something that I could do. Anyways, yes, I'm gonna get out of here. A bunch of people saying great conversation today. Thanks, guys, for being part of that conversation. It wouldn't have been a great conversation without you guys here. Let's see. Oh, Pretty Girl's mom said it's weird. They wrote the exact same thing at the same time. That, yes, you guys are like telepathically connected. Yes, thank you guys. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you get subscribed to this channel. Click on that bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. And I'd really appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up on the video as well. It does help the channel, just as simple as it is. And if you have not started your diet yet, get started right now. There's nothing coming up this weekend that's more important than your health or your overall well-being. Maybe you celebrated Father's Day this past weekend and you were waiting till Monday. Well, today's Monday. Get started and stick to it, guys. Nobody gets to their goals and wishes they would have waited. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow.